Welcome all to day 7. Excuse me. We're at Tregear House. We were there last night, but we are also there today. So sitting just outside of Peebles, this house is claimed to be the oldest continually inhabited house in Scotland. While not strictly a castle, it is built in the style of a fortified mansion and it predates the Scottish baronial style. The house is built on the site of a hunting seat used by the Scottish kings from the 12th century. Though not part of the present building, it can certainly be dated to before the 15th century. Alexander I was the first Scottish king to stay and hunt at Tregear. At that time, it was a remote castle surrounded by forest. Upon Alexander III's death in 1286, the peace of the Borders region was shattered, and Tregear became a key link in the chain of defence that guarded the Tweed Valley against English invasion. Over the next 2 centuries, Tregear's ownership changed often, at times coming under the control of the English and at others the Scottish throne. In 1460, James III conferred the estates on Dr. William Rogers, an eminent musician and one of James's favourites. After holding the lands for 9 years, Dr. Roger sold them in 1478 to the Earl of Buchan. Yep, that's right. The Earl gifted the estate to his illegitimate son, James Stuart, first Laird of Tregear, in 1491. James then obtained letters of legitimacy so he could marry the heiress of the Rutherfords, with whom he received the estates of Rutherford and Wells in Oxfordshire. He was killed in the Battle of Flodden. His daughter Jane Stuart had a daughter with the Earl of Angus born out of wedlock, who married Patrick Ruthven. Tregear remained the family seat of the Earls of Tregear for the next 4 centuries. Mary Queen of Scots visited Tregear in August of 1566 and James VI came in 1602. In 1875, Tregear passed to a cousin of the Stuarts, Henry Constable Maxwell. He was a direct descendant from the female line. A 50-room house, complete with drawing room, dressing room, and along with the King's Room, where Mary Queen of Scots stayed in 1566. There was a Roman Catholic chapel in the house, along with a priest hole, and there is a set of bare gates at the top of the drive that were installed by the 5th Earl, Charles Stuart, in 1783. When they were closed after Charles Edward Stuart passed through them in 1745, the Earl vowed that they would never be opened again until a Stuart king returned to the throne, and they've remained closed ever since. There is a brewery on site, which was revived in 1965 by Peter Maxwell Stuart, the 20th Laird of Tregear, using the 18th century domestic brewing equipment previously used to make beer for the house. Made on site is fermented in the original oak tuns, some of which are over 200 years old. Ale was brewed at Tregear during the reign of Mary Queen of Scots in 1739. A 200-gallon copper tank was installed in the brew house under the chapel to store the brewed beer in. The maize was designed by John Schofield, originally planted with Leyland cypress until a severe winter storm of 1983 when over 2/3 of it died. It was replanted with hardier beech trees. So we then drove from Tregear, and here we are at Kirby Wharf's Fete with lovely old cars. Sorry, the gentlemen in the church, there were about 6 or 7, maybe 8 of them, and they were playing some sort of bagpipe, but there were 8 of them and they weren't as loud, and there was no tube going into the bag of the bagpipe, so that was quite strange. And now we are off to, where did we end up? We ended up in Selby and then we ended up in Kaywood, and basically everything's gonna jump from, so that was Saturday we arrived in Kaywood. On Sunday we went to Kaywood Church, which I'll put at the end. And then Monday we just had a really lazy day in Kaywood. There's no pictures, there's no evidence of it. We just bummed about. So this covers days 7, 8, and 9. So I will see you again at day 10, if that's all right with all of you, but you really have no choice. So I will talk to you soon. Goodbye. I'm all confused. I don't know what day it is. So this covers day 8, day 9, and day 10. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 8, 9, and 10. 7 was yesterday. I swear I know where I am. Anyways, so 8, 9, 10. Brilliant. Sorted. Lovely. Bye.